I don't know if anyone's getting an announcement about this stream yet. I'm going to head over to my YouTubes right now. Sort that out before I start recording. Paid memberships. Fuck off. Oh, right. This is all going to be... Let's put this in film and animation. And... Okay. Okay. Put this here, big enough that I can see it in a way that I don't have to be distracted by seeing it. Oh, yeah, that looks good. Still getting glare in my glasses, so. My glasses? I'm getting glare in my glasses. Well, where is it? Oh, there it is. Ugh. Nothing is where you always need it when you need it, 'cause there's nothing where you need it when you need it. Hey, hey. Everybody likes to say things about shutting up. Shut your mouth. Alright. And put this close. That's a microphone adjustment. And just gotta get this ready. This is the cooking. This is like the pre-cooking show part, where like they have the stuff all ready at the cooking show. And then this is me getting that ready so that during the cooking show it's all ready. Cooking show in this instance is to be able to reach out, do this, and then put this back away. That's looking good though. My rubber ball, it looks like a fat dildo, sons and daughters. It's even got a suction cup on the bottom so you can suction cup it to a thing and stick it up your ass if you wanted to. Or you can stick it on a piece of glass so it doesn't fall over, question mark? Or so that's more annoying to pass to somebody, question mark? I think the suction cup is on the bottom is because it was originally a dildo. I think a hollowed out silicon dildo. Shouldn't do that with a load. All right. Now I'm gonna start recording. Hi, long time no see. Are you sick of people talking about Hereditary on the internet? I know what you're thinking. What now? That movie that came out like 6 years ago? I mean, 3 weeks ago? Hereditary? Let's talk about it. Hi. I'm Michael. I created the bunny perspective, so it stands to reason I like movies. let's talk about Hereditary, because I was going to do this as a bunny perspective thing, and I still may. This is sort of the test run on that. But I want to do a thing where I kind of have a discussion about something in terms that I can edit later. And I want to see if that's functional for me to do practically as a bunny perspective alternative. Because the way I've been doing the bunny perspective is I like script an episode, and then I would perform with the puppet, the script. Like I would perform it live. Then, when I was doing the Let's Plays that none of you guys watched, and they're there if you want to watch them. I didn't take them down. So, but if you watch any of the Let's Plays I did, I came to this realization watching YouTube atheist Logic. These have the price tags on them. Yeah, they're like shotgun shells. Yeah. You get cool shit in the South, I guess. They're not real shotgun shells. They're like just supposed to look like shotgun. These are like black licorice candles. They don't smell like anything. But this one over here does. This is a... Here, we'll plug Yankee Candle for a second. Yankee Candle has a candle it's called Witch's Brew. And it smells like patchouli. And I love it. So, but it's only around Halloween time, so get it while you can. I wanted, okay, so if I sit, oh, fuck off. I want to sit just like that. That's a record. Okay. I wanted to make sure it was at least something kind of cool that was sitting over there. All right, where was I? You can see Lupin. You can see my new tree. My girlfriend got me this for my birthday. That hasn't happened yet. There's Reagan here. In case you guys wanted to see the background stuff. There's it's my bust of Reagan. I was not a crook. Oh, my head. I think it was Dictators. The theme of this is a kid robot thing. Blind box. And it was like Dictators. And I got the exact one I wanted, but I did want the hot pink. So it's not actually hot. I mean, it's white. Yeah. And this I got because I backed Ninja All-Stars, which is a miniatures game. I know this is a huge thing, but this is like a big version of like it's supposed to be like a trophy. I have 2 of these actually. I don't know where my other one is. And for Ninja Division and Super Dungeon Explorer, and one day I'm going to do a video about how I've been waiting 4 fucking years. We're going on 4 fucking years on this Kickstarter that they're behind on. So that'll have to be an episode later. I don't know. So this is a trial thing. Most of this is going to get chopped up quick so that I can put it out, because I've been getting a little behind on putting videos out. And if you like this video, please, there's a Patreon. Actually, if you like this video, please send it to people that you think might also like it. That's the best thing you can do for me right now, especially if you can't afford to help me in any direct way. I could use all the help I can get. I burn bridges pretty regularly, and I don't mean to. But, so, yeah. What else is going on? No, I'm just kidding. Hereditary, let's talk about it. So, I've been watching videos on YouTube about people's reactions to Hereditary. Most people have figured out the pretty obvious, like, the reason it got a bad score on Metacritic is it basically, oh. That's the only one I got in me. Sneeze fetishists. ASMRs. fucking runny toilet kills me over there. Oh, my nails aren't done. So, at any rate, Hereditary. So, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos on Hereditary, and mostly people that I, you know, the ones I first watch were the ones that I give any shit about. So, like Red Letter Media, of course, Half in the Bag I watched, and they liked it. I thought they were going to like it more. I was kind of disappointed they didn't like it more. I also watched, right when it happened, like right when the movie watched, I watched Comic Book Girl 19's video. And she hated Hereditary, and I don't get it. I don't understand what she hated about it so much. And she used a lot of false reasoning for why she hated it, and it was kind of irritating. So I'm going to talk about that. But there was a lot of takes, and then more recently, Nick Spheres came out with her take, and I really like it. It's a very interesting take, and I don't disagree with it because I have a very similar take that kind of goes in the same direction as her take goes on it. But I want to talk about a bunch of takes. Like, I don't want it just to be one video about just my take, or I want to talk about all these takes. I want to talk about all the reactions that I've ingested for Hereditary, and I'm going to end it with what I think is probably the most likely theory. Theory is a bad word. The most likely reality of the movie. Okay, that makes sense. Because you can't say it's like our reality, because there's no such thing as Payman, except there is such thing as Payman in that he's an actual demon in mythology. Like there's information about Payman. So that surprised me, for one. I did check. I think I watched a lot of kind of bullshit clickbaity the ending of Hereditary Explained videos just to see if, because I knew they would do a little bit of research, and it took a few videos of those to figure it out. But I knew they would do a little research to see if Payman was a real thing, and Payman's a real thing. That's pretty cool. So, oh my gosh. Clearly the work of demons. Oh, and I got a black fingertip, and I got a black spot here, and oh, Jesus, Murphy. All right. Don't touch anything. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, it doesn't look that... Okay. They don't look that bad in person, but... Okay, any rate, so... Hereditary. A movie theory retrospective thingy. Comic Book Girl 19 and her friend both seemed to just hate it because they identified with Charlie and then Charlie got killed. And I don't know. Like, I think they didn't really... It's not that they had a hot take. And the reason I'm addressing it is because I feel like most of the YouTube people I watched about this movie are quick to defend this movie. Like, most people that talked about this movie liked it. And Comic Book Girl 19, I expected her to really like this movie, and she really was, like, very not into it. Here's video evidence of that. Set me up for fucking future work. So yeah, you get the idea. She just doesn't like it. You get the idea. Like, she's very abrasive to the idea that it's like The Exorcist, even though it's sort of The Exorcist and Rosemary's Baby. Like, I feel like you could watch Rosemary's Baby, The Exorcist, and this movie, and Drag Me to Hell, and you'd have a good demon-y. You know what I mean? Like, there aren't very many great demon movies in my estimation, but those are some really great fucking demon movies. There's a few other ones. And I think this one is, you know, I think ultimately this movie is a literal thing. I think that everything that is depicted in the movie ultimately is literal. So spoilers, my hot take on this is that. But I have my own take that's more metaphorical. So Comic Book Girl 19 didn't really have a take as much as she got invested in Charlie and then Charlie was dead. Even though technically Charlie is, like, living through the whole thing. Like, Charlie is that light that eventually Peter sees. So, but, you know, like, so anyway, so I watched most of her video, but to be honest, I felt myself bristling and starting to argue with nobody. Like when I start arguing with a video, that's when I usually turn it off. And because I did this with another video that was defending Trump Like using, like, I'm like, you can, this video is like hating on, this side note, hating on Jimmy Kimmel. And he went on this rant about how he can't stand that the liberals are bitching about Trump all the time. And I'm kind of like, I don't know what level of adult you are, but you're obviously a very young adult. Therefore, you don't have any fucking conceit of how fucked up it is that Trump's president. And that's why we keep talking about it. But it's just, he talked about Obama the whole fucking, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, I don't know what the fuck, if you're a nighttime talk show host, you talk about the president. Like, it's a thing that you do. Like, it's not like this president's the first president that's ever been openly mocked. Like, this little kid never fucking saw George Bush and shit. Like, he's a, whatever. Comic Book Girl 19 seemed to actively dislike the movie. At one point, she goes, she was claiming it wasn't even a horror movie, which I thought to be, like, dumb. I don't know. Like, it was like she's usually, like, really thoughtful. Say, I did the smudge part on my nose. I was trying not to. She's really thoughtful, and to be honest, like, for the most, like, I found Comic Book Girl 19 because she was defending James Rolfe, which is fine, because he didn't want to watch the new Ghostbusters movie, which turned out to be a pile of shit. My stance on Ghostbusters then and now was I really wish it was a good movie. When it was coming out, I was really hoping it was a good movie, because just like I like that cast, and I like the idea of a new Ghostbusters. I don't think it's any more complicated than that. But it's a bad movie. It was a cash grab bullshit movie, and that sucks. That sucks. Sorry that it had to get lumped in with, and I love that so many people defended that movie that really shouldn't defend that movie based on political stuff, because in hindsight they used that political stuff to market the movie. You guys all complain about that Pepsi ad where the chick goes across the lines and hands a Pepsi over to the cops, but that's essentially what that marketing was for fucking. Should I have put eyeliner on for this? I should have put eyeliner on for this. Hang on. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get some eyeliner. Good boy. Preparation. H. Whoop. All right. So, can't actually see what I'm doing. So hopefully, this goes okay. Oh shit, it's inverted. If I just keep going until my eye is black, it should be good. Oh my god, this is going to end up looking so bad. Hey, get some nail polish in there, it'll be good. Oh yeah, dabble, do ya? Okay. So, Comic Book Girl 19, didn't like the movie. And I suspect, and it's not that I suspect, she basically accuses the movie of using pathos. She goes, she deliberately goes, that's not horror, it's pathos. And I was just so irritated with the idea that horror movies can't have characters that you give a shit about if they die. I was like, I feel like horror movies used to have characters in them that you wanted to live. I thought that was the point. My mom hates it when I do this. Not that I wear eyeliner. She hates that I just smudge it on like a monster. All right. Now I'll put my glasses on. We'll see if this actually looks okay. Oh, baby, you did it again. God, you're perfect. So, she didn't like the movie, and she's entitled to not liking the movie. I thought the reasons she didn't like the movie were the reasons I did like the movie. I like that they established the character of Charlie, so that you maybe thought that why she behaves the way she is with the clicks is a Tourette / some kind of autism spectrum. And I think, I mean, you're supposed to... The reason... I feel like maybe that's why people felt like this is such a bait and switch, is because it feels like it's going to be a really grounded movie with some light supernatural elements. Not if you see the trailer. If you see the trailer, you know that there's going to be some hard supernatural elements. Like there's someone that floats, and there's like... she's beating her head on the attic door. I'm going to tell you something. I'm happy I didn't see the fucking trailers to this movie before I saw the movie. When I saw the trailers, I was like, oh, fuck. God damn, these are terrible. They're good because they don't spoil it. Like, it definitely makes you think it's going to be The Haunting of Connecticut fucking dumb shit. And it turns out to be just a masterpiece of cinema. Another hot take that actually... well... Comic Book Girl 19 hot take was she didn't like it. I don't know, whatever. Nick Spheres took a little bit longer to come out with her video, and I liked her video the best of the videos I watched because her take on it was very good. I will attempt to summarize. Essentially, in the movie, Charlie, who's a girl, is also a male demon. So there's a male demon inside of her at the same time. And, or she's been Payman the entire time, Charlie Payman. Like, Charlie, and like, possibly the act of being born as Charlie, because she's a girl, didn't get Payman fully formed, or maybe Payman's just kind of floating in a halfway space. I don't really know, because, like, you can nail down the science of the demonology. And it really doesn't matter why it works, because magic is flupsy and dupsy. It matters on what the magic and everything represents. So according to the author and everything, this is just a straight literal story. The mother's a cult leader and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I see that interpretation, and I think that is the most fun, probably the most accurate interpretation. Nick Spheres' interpretation, I will quickly summarize. Charlie, or Payman, is born into a female body, and it's about a mother coping with... I'm really doing a bad job of explaining it, but it's a mother negatively coping with a transgender child. I understand why Nick sees that interpretation. But I also understand why one wouldn't come to that interpretation, because I could also argue using similar evidence that Nick's used. I could argue that there's no murder, there's no death at all. I would say it's I would almost argue you could make an argument that this is a movie about an artist dealing with let me backstep. So Nix's interpretation is fine, but she leaves out a lot of stuff, and I'm sure she might have talked about it in her hour-long uncut version. And I'm not asking her to be like nail down every single plot point why it relates to this transgender thing. That's silly, and that's not what the point of her discussion was. She presented evidence. That evidence was pretty sound, and you can present evidence to the contrary that it's all literal. Like, it's pretty easy. For one, there are cultists that are almost drooling over Charlie at the funeral. Like, if you watch the funeral scene, and I thought it was weird when I was watching it. There's like this weird... She's at the casket, Charlie is, and there's this weird dude like right behind her just grinning ear to ear. And that's so out of place. And I'm pretty sure, like 99% sure, he's the first cultist you see of the naked cultists that are in the shadows in the back, because I recognize that big fucking grin on his face late in the movie. I could, so like I said, I can argue that you could also make the argument that the cult is the heteronormative, or the opposite rather. They could represent the accepting LGBT. It would make sense that the mother was processing through this as this transgender daughter, my son who's transgender, actually it's a demon. It's this demon that's possessing her, or him rather. And I know he's really him and blah, blah, blah. I would say my problem with that theory is it doesn't work very well with her admitting to him that she tried to kill him in utero. Like, tried to have an abortion, basically. Like, she explains to him, she literally goes, she blurts out, "I never wanted to be your mother," and then she blurts that out, and then she further explains, "Yeah, I tried to, I smoked and I drank, and I really tried to get you to die in the womb." And I explained some of his behavior. He's pretty well checked out through the entire movie. They also say that he's supposed to be like 16, 17. Young people that smoke weed at a young age, if they might possess some hereditary mental illnesses such as schizophrenia, the THC could bring that out, because the CBDs, though, are an anti-anxiety medicine, anti-inflammatory medicine. That I don't think they really cancel out the psychotropic, what gets you high about marijuana, the THC. So anyway, so you can make all these arguments in real life that the transgender thing doesn't really cover, in my estimation. But as Nick said, and I don't think, like I said, I don't think her interpretation is invalid whatsoever. And I saw it, and honestly, when she was explaining her take on it, when she got to what she was talking about, it didn't surprise me. Not that she has an agenda. That's not what I'm saying. It's just that that's what she's going through personally. Like, in her personal life, she's going through transition. So it makes sense that you would see that in the movie versus what I saw in the movie, which is an artist failing, which is what I am going through. So as valid as I think Nick's interpretation is, I think mine works better for me because it's very focused on Annie. It's very focused on, and Steve to some extent. I always feel like Heather is my Steve. I'm really worried that Heather is going to give up faith on me. And I think that's what it was really about. I think the movie is about an artist who has mental illnesses, refuses to, like, there's a subplot of the movie that you cannot ignore about her not asking for an extension. That is so crucial to my theory on this movie. I would argue, like, the Hereditary thing too makes sense with the artistic gene. The daughter draws, and she also makes sculptures of her own. Which would she's young, so obviously who knows what it would manifest into if she had grown up. When there's an argument that could be said that the mom just is crazy. She's just crazy. Her brother had schizophrenia and killed himself, and that sort of thing could have. And her mother had dementia, which could be, like there are these markers of hereditary mental illness that are not in there. They aren't necessarily red herrings. I think the literal interpretation, they are red herrings. But in this interpretation, the metaphorical artist losing her shit, in this interpretation, they are not literal demons. It also makes sense that the demon is payment. As a failure artist, sometimes it feels really horrible when you're not, like, you feel like you're selling your soul to money. Payment is a demon of wealth, after all. So her succumbing to payment, even if it's just in this kind of prolonged mental illness thing that she's going through. So this is what I say. This is my hot take. The movie happens very literally until the point where Charlie is killed, and that's still all literal. But then metaphorical things began happening as well. I agree with the Knicks that the reason we push it, the first shot of the movie is pushing into the dollhouse, is we're telling the story of Annie's art. That's what I'm saying. Annie's art is influenced by the real world. Therefore, the real world is her art, which is the same thing. I agree with Knicks. Knicks says that she's creating all of these things as they happen in real life. My argument is Charlie doesn't die from a decapitation. They don't get to the hospital in time. Like, he drives and he gets to the hospital. She dies of epileptic shock. She dies in a way that could be blamed on her being obsessed with her own artwork. Her child that was showing artistic aptitude when the other kid wasn't showing artistic aptitude is another thing where she might be bitter, wishing that the girl would come back to life as the boy because he ruined it. It explains why she hates him so much, because not only is it now there's a, you know what I mean, like, Annie is making all this whole huge diorama set. She's making this whole set for this art thing that's coming up, and this obviously is a lot of pressure on her. Her mother dies, and then her daughter dies, like within 2 weeks of each other, and she's still trying to push through it and make this artwork. For me, the decapitation scene is brutal. It wasn't as brutal as her smashing that chair, and then I thought, oh my God, she's going to destroy all of them. They're all going to get destroyed. And when she only destroyed one, whew, that was the most realistic depiction of an artist freakout I've ever seen. Because I've done the same thing. I've destroyed one piece of art, and I've done it since. Because when you do it, it's highly devastating. It's highly devastating. So, that's, I mean, like, my hot take on this doesn't have any, like, it doesn't explain a lot of the other stuff. I would explain all the supernatural stuff just on her sleepwalking, and they're just dreams. It's just her like, I just imagine she kills herself in the attic after killing her family. Like, this is what happens to Annie is the art project becomes too much. The art project, the demon, the money greed demon is too much. She can't do it anymore. She kills her husband. She kills her son. She kills herself. But in her own brain, she's so far gone that she's adapted this payment thing. Blamed her mother, of course, because she is indirectly responsible for Charlie's death. She didn't make sure that she sent Charlie to that party. She sent Charlie to that party without an EpiPen. Why are they always without an EpiPen? Like, me and Heather were both like, what? How do you have a kid that's going to die if they ingest a peanut in this world without an EpiPen no matter where? I don't get. Allergic people, please. Now, what I want to say is, and it also explains why Charlie is neglected and explains why Peter is distant. Fucking neighbors. Like, Peter, like, Peter is out, like, checked out. Maybe, you know, we don't see this, but maybe there's one point where he expressed it. Well, he plays guitar. That does poke holes in my theory, because maybe he's just lazy about it, playing guitar. Maybe he does it for the wrong reasons or whatever. When I was a teenager, I fought with my mother all the time. What else about this theory of mine? I have to watch it again to see if I can find more. I have a hard time believing the subplot of her having a gallery deadline is nothing. Like, I just have a hard time believing that all the people that have taken passes at this movie, like how all the people in the process, all the writers and everything, they put that in for no reason. Like, I feel like either that or I'm missing something in the literal interpretation that requires that stuff. And if you really want to know, if you want to know the literal explanation of the ending, there are a million YouTube videos that explain it all. I was actually going to explain it, and then I realized, oh shit, fuck, everyone's explaining that fucking shit. I wanted to do my own take, just like Nyx did. She invited people to do so. I'm doing a take on Hereditary. I don't think Nyx's is wrong. I don't think mine is wrong. I don't think mine is right, and I don't think Nyx is right. I don't think anyone's right or wrong. Interpretation of media is your own bullshit. But her video was really... Her and Skellyfish, there's something they're both going to click on very soon that I want to be on board with. It's something that I've not really done in the past. The Bunny Perspective originally was going to be, and I think the early episodes of it are indicative of this, was me calling out things that are bad, that are ripoffs of something that's good. The very early version of this, the first episode was Battle Royale, and the second episode was The Condemned, which I wouldn't mind taking another crack at reviewing, because that movie was garbage. But The Condemned was this wishy-washy bullshit Con Air Battle Royale ripoff, and it was so bad. But it makes you appreciate how good the original thing is. And I think they're right that we need more positivity. And I think we need to figure out what's the right thing to be angry at as YouTubers. I notice that if something is trending one way, like Rick and Morty or whatever, there's this counterculture edgelordy, we hate this thing, Dan Harmon sucks, all these people, Justin Roiland sucks, all these people who work on it suck. I'm just like, I listen to Harmontown. Dan Harmon, like, is a guy that I've been a fan of and didn't know I was a fan of for very, very many years. Like, for instance, Monster House. Could never figure out why Monster House is a good movie. Dan Harmon and Rob Schraub worked on it, and that's why it's a good movie. Even though the animation's weird and the character designs aren't great, it has a resonance because they are good storytellers. And even with people just shitting on things that people are having a good time with. And I'm not saying Rick and Morty fans are not toxic. They got toxic. Everyone gets... I mean, anything popular has a bunch of toxic things in it. That doesn't mean that the core of the thing isn't good. So, if you like this video, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Bunny Perspective is going to for sure come back October 31st. If not sooner. But I don't want to promise no if not sooner because I don't know what things are. We're moving this month in July. So it's hectic. I'm going to try to produce things. I'll definitely be live streaming. My live streaming schedule is 6 in the morning until about 9:30, 10 Central Time. This is all Central Time. And I usually play I either do art or I do some kind of competitive game. And every night, this is Monday to Friday, every morning 6 a.m. to 9-ish, every night 6 p.m. to question mark. If you want to know where I stream, it's Twitch. Fuck YouTube. If you wanted to see the live recording of this, I do record these live onto YouTube, so I don't have to put them anywhere. It's philbunny live. There's no one following it, so there are hardly any people following it. Excuse me. So if you did want to watch this as I was recording it, blah, 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 bell icon. I am not monetized. YouTube doesn't help me do fucking shit. No one is going to suggest you watch my videos. So please, send this to people that you think would like it. And I hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you on the next Stone Vlog thingy, which will probably be shortly after that. Star Trek Season 3 with Heather and myself will be out shortly. Soonish. We liked it. Spoilers. Season 3 is the best season yet. So Season 4 is better already, and it's getting better, so that's a cool one. And yeah, see you guys in the next video. Bye. All right. This is the live bit. So if you did happen to come here from the bunny perspective, thank you for being here. And if you watch this whole thing, just to see if I said anything racist or homophobic, I didn't. Fucking Arab queers. You know, is that racist? I don't know. And start recording. Hello, my name is Michael, and I have declared myself God King Faggot. And it is my decree that that is dope as fuck. The God King Faggot is dead. All hail the God King Faggot. Hey, Rose. You missed the first recording. The first recording was my Hereditary hot takes. The long story short is it's an artist breakdown. I'll edit it up, I promise, and I'll put it out. I'm making sure I don't cough. Nothing ruins a good take like coughing in the middle of it. My dealer and I split a blunt, like a whole blunt. So these are very baby hits. You don't need much. I don't need much, but I smoke anyway. All right. Welcome back to Stone Vlogs. I recorded a bunch of stuff that may or may not get put out. You'll know because it'll be in black and white. But I did Nita's Arkeesian reaction video to go with my shoe on head video because I thought for sure people were going to watch that video and no one did. No one cares about me ranting at shoe on head. Funny. That's okay. I don't know what I wanted this to be. I think I'm figuring out what I want this channel to be. I'm taking a big cue from Skellyfish and Nick Spheres. They especially after watching the Mr. Rogers thing, and I don't need. I'm gonna watch it. It's not in theaters around us now, but I'm gonna watch it as soon as I'm able to watch it. I may even go out of my way and rent it. But I've been watching episodes of Mr. Rogers, and they've been making me cry. Like I would just have it on during playing like League of Legends or something. Very soothing. Very good contrast to the frustration and saltiness. But like you'll be watching an episode of Mr. Rogers and you're just like, man, he talks simple. And then all of a sudden you're just crying because he said something horribly profound that doesn't apply to just children. It applies to everybody. It applies to humanity. It's just explained to children. You know what I'm saying? Like he explains something on a monumental, global, amazing, powerful, important thing, but he dumbs it down for kids, so there's no way you can't. It's like putting peanut butter around a dog medicine to fool a dog. It's like Mr. Rogers was programming children to just be better, and it didn't work because look at this nonsense. Like everyone sees being nice as a weakness. If you're nice to a woman, you're a white knight cuck, and you're just frustrated that she won't suck your dick because you said something nice to her on Twitter or whatever. I don't know. I actually don't know. All I know is I was young, dumb, and full of cum at one point, and I was a shit person. And if I would have relaxed a bit, I would have gotten more laid. I'm just irritated by it because now I don't care. So if you're young and you're frustrated and you call yourself an incel and you're having a hard time, one, just jerk off a bunch. It's fine. You'll figure out what you like. And it might be, you might get more and more tolerant. You might like things more than you think you do. And 2, if I'd relaxed sooner, I probably would have fucked a dude by now. So like this God King Faggot title is really a name. I haven't consecrated it or anything. I think I'm just advertising that I want a boyfriend in a real bad way. So does my girlfriend. My girlfriend really wants me to have a boyfriend. So that's what this episode's about. It's potpourri. Sometimes I want to ramble and I don't have a point, and I'll try to put all the topics I hit, but I know I'm going to hit a lot of topics. And this concept of God King Faggot has really hit me. So there's philbunny and then God King Faggot. Oh. Because of course I deserve some sort of title. I did usher in an elder thing. I mean, he's been here since I was born. So it might be coincidental that we're parallel fourth dimensional beings. It doesn't. I mean, like, he's the fourth dimensional being. I'm the parallel third dimensional being. There's also a parallel two-dimensional version of all of us. And, of course, a one-dimensional point, like 1 point version of it. And then, of course, inside of me are thousands of bug creatures that actually puppeteer the, like all the stuff that we're made of. We're made of monsters. So I don't understand racism. If we're all made of filthy bug creatures, then how can anyone be any worse or better? I just don't get anything. So, a long time ago, in a galaxy far away, Kyle Calgren was my friend. Hey, Kyle, do I have enough blue and pink lights? He's doing a video on blue and pink lights. I want to murder myself. Kyle Calgren and Holly Brown explained to me that feminism isn't over. I thought it was done. I thought they figured it out in Mary Poppins times. Sing it with me now. We're clearly soldiers in petticoats, shoulder to shoulder for women's votes. Our daughters will adore us, and we'll sing in grateful chorus. Hey, where's the men's version of that song? We did all the hard work. Well done, brother subjector. Subjector? Hey, without white men, how would we have slavery? Slavery used to be a thing, but they weren't considered subhumans. Like, you just did slavery. Like, slavery was just like a 9 to 5 at one point. We never needed. Well, you do. Like, if you're a person and you like, here's the thing that drives me nuts. They explain. Is that really why? Is that really why? I haven't watched. Did Kyle put that video out yet? I haven't seen it. Has Kyle put that video out? I want to see it now. I just assumed it was dumb. Blue and pinks are great. I'm shocked that I'm allowed to do it. Like, honestly. Like, once I figured this out, I was just like, dude, this is making my fingernails pop out. It's going to make my eyeliner pop out. Phil looks great. Like, the new version of Phil looks great. The old version of Phil would look stupid. The new version, awesome. Fuck. I got distracted. Kyle Calgren and Holly Brown explained to me that feminism is over. And it's not that I was like, it was just ignorant. And it turns out I'm a human being. I don't get offended by being ignorant. Everyone's ignorant of something. Ah, okay. I've toned myself pink deliberately because I think pink is my favorite color. So, well, no. Well done, Sister Subjugate. All right. And I also thought we were doing better on the whole racism thing. I knew it wasn't perfect. I've known for a really long time, but I always thought that extreme racism was regional. It's not really regional. It's not that I didn't, you don't get to pick what community you're stuck in. And I moved to Detroit. It wasn't weird for me to have very close black friends, but it would have been weird when I was in middle school just because I was surrounded by white people. It's not my fault. The most minority we had was maybe Asians or Middle Eastern folk. Folk from South, maybe even South Asia, to be honest. There's a lot of South Asians running around. That's not a criticism. It's an observation. You know what I'm saying? It sucked. My school was terrible because it was so white. Like, basically, if you had a symmetrical face and had the metabolism to maintain a six-pack and liked to run and throw balls around, you get to call anyone you wanted to a faggot. The problem with me and everyone else is I'm funny and people like me. I don't get it. I don't like me. But other people like me. I've been cognizant of this for a very long time. I try not to use it in a sociopathic way, but it's hard not to. The reason I don't is I have another alternative voice in my brain that clicks on whenever bullshit happens, and people just hate when their bullshit gets called out to a point where the people who remain friends of mine are weirdos too. And I don't mean that like as a euphemism for autistic. I mean like Tom White's weird, but he likes me. Like he understands me. Leo's weird. Leo Thompson, sci-fi guys, he's a weirdo too. He likes me. When all the stuff went down, when I talked to them later, I specifically had to ask, do I have any kind of like, did I say anything fucked up to you? Because like depression's like, I'm not trying to get a catch-all excuse still, but boy, it's a fucking hell of a depression, like a mental illness. Like you lash out on everyone. You ignore like you just put everything off. I'm still dealing with it. Like there are just days where I try to wash with it. Like yesterday, I didn't beat myself up over the fact that I was just not productive. I was beyond not productive. I didn't even play video games yesterday. Except in the morning. No. And today, I haven't even picked up a video game today. This is the first thing I've done all day besides collect my medication. And I figured that I would just be productive today. And I actually feel really productive. This strain is a good one for this. But most people, like, they gravitate to me for whatever reason. It's because I can read the room. I can change subject if things get awkward. People generally like me if they get a chance to talk to me. It sounds very arrogant. I'm not trying to be arrogant. It's a curse. I hate it. I wish people would figure me out sooner, to be honest. Because, like, either you figure me out. If you figure me out and then you still like me, then there's something about you that's probably odd. There are very few people like Heather for me. Heather is my left brain. I'm her right brain. I'm more creative. She's like, but we're sloppy in the same way. We have the same quirks and tendencies, which is a bad thing, but we also help each other a lot. Like part of me doing these Stone Vlogs is to get into a regular routine of figure out what the bunny perspective is actually going to be. That keeps being a question for me. What is the bunny perspective? And the more I do these and like doing these, and hopefully they catch on with people, the more I see the bunny perspective as Phil Bunny and his whole thing, and his opinion, and myself and my opinion. Which means if I want Phil to get involved in a social movement, I can. I mean, it doesn't have to, or he could. I am going to experiment with my atheist stuff separate from Phil, but I am going to bring him back in. As evidence the fact that he's featured in God Fuck You, which is my... God Fuck You is my... hopefully, is my acceptance into a certain subsection of the atheist community. Specifically, Logic and Hugo and Jake. Logic is above politics and gender politics, which means he'll be an interesting discussion point because he'd be like, well, would you not agree that making something a protected class, da-da-da-da? And I have the fair argument to say, I'm annoyed that I have to think of something I'm annoyed that we need a protected class too. I'm part of that of that fucking thing because I very much want a boyfriend. And I'm polyamorous as fuck. These are not popular with the majority, and they're certainly not popular with insane Christians. But I also want to do some reaction videos. There's a channel, I think it's called Right Wing Media Watch on YouTube. I don't recommend following them if you want to have a good time, but they do little snippets of crazy things that the Alex Joneses and the Fringe are saying. The Fringe has a huge community, but they're old and they're dying. So I kind of want to point that out and make fun of it. Seems fun. I don't know if that's a Phil Bunny thing or not. I don't know if that'll translate or not. It might even, I hesitate to even do it as me, but it's not, it doesn't matter who I do it as. It's always going to be tracked back to me. I'm not afraid of Christians coming after me, or Scientologists, or Muslims. But I'm also not going to offend Muslims by like drawing their dumb idiot prophet. My defiance is my apathy. Like, it's sad that as a cartoonist, I have to worry about what I can and cannot draw. That's disgusting. And don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about your average Joe, normal Christian equivalent Muslim. And if being a Muslim got you out of a bad thing, I'm not implying that you're a bad person for being a Muslim. Replace that with whatever dumb, stupid, cultist religion you believe in. Sorry. But I respect Muslims as much as I respect Christians, which is to say, I don't respect them at all, Jews. And I don't mean that in a, conspiracy way. I just don't care. Your dumb religions are dumb. All of them are dumb. The only interesting ones are like Shintoism and Buddhism. And I'm not saying that you can't get philosophy out of those ones, but you can get better philosophy out of Buddhism or Buddhism and Shintoism. You can get way more interesting philosophies from Confucius and Eastern thinkers. Even some of those Western philosophers, some of them. But to imply that Greek mythology... I mean, I don't know. Greek mythology was probably comic books. I mean, are we not cognizant of the fact that maybe they didn't actually believe that those were real? Do you know what I mean? Is that... I mean, I don't know. Is that... Greek myths, maybe at one point they kind of believed that they were true, but then they turned into, comic books? Don't Greek myths feel like comic books? Doesn't Hercules redirect a river to clean out a pile of shit? Am I wrong? Why doesn't that ever happen in the movies? The Rock, though, it's the Rock's version, or yeah, it's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Hercules is the best Hercules, except the ending. It was great until the studio mandated ending kicked in. He is so good. He can elevate any movie. He elevated wrestling. I was the only time I watched wrestling was the brief period. It was like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Yeah, I have ear pods. Can I tell you about these ear pods? Because I don't want to talk about Stone Cold Steve Austin. And, apparently he's a racist. These ear pods I've had, I'm going on a year and a half. I have run them through the washer. They still work. Washer and dryer. Still work. Holds a very good charge still. But there's no way they have that 8-hour fucking ear life that they talk about. That's bullshit. The charger definitely does. You can get more than a dozen charges out of the charger. But you got to be patient. You got to be cognizant of taking the ear pods out every once in a while and charging it. Especially if you use them for like Skype or whatever. But the microphones are fine. People are like, don't you lose them? I'm like, well, they've fallen out of my ears a couple of times. Very infrequently. It's usually, if my hands are busy, it's the only time I'm really worried about my earpods. But I'm also more paranoid about my earpods than random people's food or whatever I'm delivering. So that shit gets put aside if the earpods are falling out. But I find that the wire... Where's my earpods at? I have earpods. I'm threatening to show them to you. There they are. I find that these fall out of my ears more because of the stupid cocksucking cord. Excuse me. I'm trying to take cocksucking out of my vernacular as a bad thing, because cocksuckers are great, honorable people that deserve your respect. Because that's not an easy job. It's not anything I'm interested in doing. And that's why, I don't want to use it as a pejorative. So I'll get a take two. This cock-biting cord, no one wants a cock-biter. This thing would these come out of my ears all the time because of this stupid cord. It's never, if it's too long, then it's cumbersome. If it's just this long, it's just barely the right length to still do it no matter what. Meh. But what if you lose them? I haven't. Be paranoid about them. I don't know what to tell you. I've misplaced them a couple of times and got really paranoid and then found them immediately, usually in a pants pocket. I don't know, man. I'm not OCD about a lot of shit, but like the things that I carry all the time, I am. When I was smoking on the road with me all the time, my kit was much bigger. It was earphones, iPhone, wallet, keys, one hitter, container of marijuana, lighter. My pockets were heavy. I wanted to change the channel after all this shit's gone down. But who cares, right? You can't even talk about it now without somebody just being like, okay, it's done. What are you still talking about this? They haven't changed shit. That fucking Salon article came out and it turned into, well, live and learn, and they just moved on. There was no real ramifications for Doug Walker's behavior. Is Michaud still working? I mean, I don't want to look it up because no one wants to. It's like talking about Trump, except we have to talk about Trump. Whereas you can willfully not discuss this bullshit Channel Awesome stuff, and I get it. It's still raw for a lot of people, especially the Jew Wario stuff. And that's still raw for me, too. But, everyone's over it? I thought we were, Doug Walker knew for a long time that Justin was a rapist. During that eulogy, for instance. That's why they wanted him to say it. You know what I mean? That's why they wanted it. They took it as it was callous that they didn't want another producer to talk about Doug Walker's Justin killing himself or whatever. They posed it like that, they posed it like this way, like they're being really cynical. It's not true. They had to figure out how they're going to talk about it, because what if it got out that they knew for years? Because they did. They knew for like 2 years. They knew. I talk a lot of shit about Jackula, and he's a shithead, but he did admit that Holly Brown and others knew about this stuff for a long time. I'm not mad at Holly for... I'm disappointed. Everyone's disappointed. But, like, how... I'm not going to hang on to that shit. It's not her fault. Those are job, man. That's... that. And it was like... You just kind of hoped it wasn't as bad. I don't know, man. I'm not going to pick on Holly. I like Holly. She's a good person. Bad shit's happened to her, too, for that matter. Well, you're not... I'll explain that to you, Rose. I knew him... I don't know how well you knew him. I knew him really well. Or I thought I did. You know what I mean? Like, pretty well. We played a board game together. A board game I bought because of his fucking live stream. I was on his live stream many times. I didn't know. I mean, how? I mean, you don't know. Because, like, you have, like, a passing relationship with these people, you know. That said, I knew Lindsay was a fucking drunk. You know, like... I knew things about people from interacting with them, so Justin hit it pretty well. Like, he's a sociopath. Change of channel really bums me out, but like I stopped idolizing Doug Walker when I realized he's an idiot. I didn't like, you gotta understand, when he killed the Nostalgia Critic and spun off to do Demo Reel, I had already been bashing him for months, and the community hated me for it. They really did. Lindsay too. Like they liked, certain people of the community liked that I was trying to clean up the forums. It was our belief. It was our true and honest fucking belief that they were not picking anyone else up at Channel Awesome. Holly made me think this too, and I think Holly believed this as well. So I don't think this is bullshit, because but Holly supported me trolling people on the forums. I'm not trying to be a shithead to Holly. I don't even think I was wrong to do it. Still. Like, I just regret doing it. Somebody should do it. If that's true. But you gotta understand, like, Welshie really wrote me off. Welshie just was like, oh, you shit on the forums? Well, fuck you. I never even had a conversation with Welshie. I think he showed up to one of the streams where I was drawing him as a steampunk guy briefly and then bailed. But, like, I never interacted with Welshie. I interacted with, and I need to talk to, in the future, I might see if she's got time tomorrow, is Zarya. That's actually who I really haven't thought about who I needed to talk to about all this stuff to, but that's who I need to talk to. So I'm going to see if she'll do a thing with me. I'll spoil some other shit that I'm kind of annoyed with, since Rep Critic is not going to hire me anymore, it looks like. I mentioned that I wanted to have people on the Stone Vlogs as guests, and I mentioned that I would wanted to talk to Iron Liz. We're going to have Iron Liz on. And he's like, yeah, I don't want to be associated in that way at all, and bailed. And I haven't talked to him since. So... I don't know if he expects me to know all of Iron Liz's bizarre... Iron Liz has a lot of political leanings that I disagree with, but she's not a bad person. I don't... He's already got a new title card artist, so... We're not working together. We haven't worked... I did one for him a few months ago, but... And I'm not trying to burn a bridge by him being weird about it. It's weird to me that he's weird about it. But he's like, he doesn't want to associate with Channel Awesome people. And I'm just like, okay. I don't get it. I don't get what the fear is. You're afraid that some random dickhead on the internet is going to claim that you're ripping off somebody else or capitalizing on a thing. They're going to do that anyway. It doesn't matter what you do. Have you not been paying attention? Is everyone this fucking dumb on the internet? Like, I just don't get it. Like, I get it. It's easy for me to be, like, sitting on the armchair. I know I'm armchair YouTubing and just pointing and looking in and be like, why are you guys so dumb? But why are you guys so dumb? Like, this is what you should have all banded together more. He's obviously works with Lindsay. I think that's why I don't know. The conversation started supportive. I mentioned Iron Liz. The conversation became distant and I can read a room even on Twitter DMs. Okay? I know when someone's enthusiastically talking to me or trying to cheer me up or whatever the fuck. And I don't know. It was weird. I've been in a weird spot. You guys don't get it. I don't know what I need to contribute to YouTube. YouTube feels overwhelming and horrifying. And I don't know what to do, where to put it, why to do it. I'm just trying to figure out what the next thing is and put it there. So I'm probably going to release this on Twitch just to see how that goes. I don't know if it goes at all, but we'll see. And, but I didn't want to do a postmortem on this channel awesome stuff for me because I can't justify talking about it unless something big happens. Which it won't. I think I expected more people to talk to me. I'm a little disappointed that more people aren't worried that I'm going to kill myself. I'm a little disappointed that no one else... You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I guess that's my whole point. Shouldn't more people be worried about me? Because, like, I'm not been producing the healthiest stuff. I mean, like, the Star Trek stuff may be kind of boring, but, like, I don't know. I don't know if it's the healthiest thing to proclaim that I'm God King Faggot. It feels really good, though. So... But Dan Olson's not talking to me. So I've unfriended him. I've stopped following him on Twitter, which is fine, because his tweets suck anyway. Yeah, I said it, dude. I don't like your tweets. Never did. Your videos are great. I didn't unsubscribe to his YouTube channel. Nor his Twitch. And sometimes I peek into his Twitch stream, but... Lindsay's latest video sucked. Am I wrong? She did that whole huge thing on whatever, and then she comes back and she's like, guys, maybe we shouldn't have Nazis in our media anymore. What? You do realize that Kylo Ren is like, he's very against, like, it's from what I understand of the movie. Oh shit. I've wondered what's happened to Mr. Brightside, to be honest. Yeah. I'm a little worried about him. I figured he'd be a good collaborator too, honestly. I don't think he would though. He might. I don't know. This is this is the thing. The Channel Awesome stuff just showed me it showed me in the long run that none of them were my friends. I knew that Lupa and Phelan and that tribe, that clique. I love that Jacula, she comes around, he's like, I couldn't handle all these cliques. There were so many cliques. The entire channel was cliques. Did he not know that going in? How did he not know that going in? Like, Jacula, don't be a baby. Fuck, dude. There were too many people on that channel not to form cliques. Are you dumb? Why are people so irritating? Lupa and Phelan have been together as long as me and Heather have been together. Me and Heather have... I didn't know that she was asexual. makes a lot of sense why she don't like me. 'Cause I don't mean to be, but I'm flirty and annoying. Because I like sex. I'm hypersexual. Don't mean to be. And I don't talk about it incessantly or nothing. But if the opportunity affords itself, I do. I mean, like, I want to make out with a guy so bad. It's disgusting. But only a specific type of guy. Fellas, I apologize. But I want a cute girly dude. I'm attracted to girly. Because for a long time I was just like, am I just hyper straight? Is that what this is? Is this like be straight beyond physical sex? Which I can make that argument. Because I like tomboyish girls. I like twinkie guys. Femme guys for sure. Femme girls for sure. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, oh, the boyish, and then the more manly a lady or a guy is, the less attracted I am to them. It's like, I don't want people to demonize people for being attracted to people. There's a huge spectrum within that spectrum. I'm attracted to more people than most people, okay? And, you know, the fact that it's not like a personal thing ever, you know, because some people will hit me mentally right, but it's, you know, it's whatever. And there was a point in my life where I was very, like, desperate. And I look back at past Mike. I went by Mike. Like, all those past credits, Mike. It drives me nuts. So, all this, like, when I was in my 20s, I was just, like, I didn't know how to focus what this is now into anything positive. It was, like, 24 hours a day. I was just like, how can I get laid? How can I get laid? I was just trying to figure out ways to get fucked all the time. I hit on every female classmate I had. I asked out nearly every single one of them at one point in one way or another. They all rejected me in clever and interesting ways. Horrible. But why I didn't ever connect, and I think Heather is why this ended up making more sense to me. But and Allison was a girlfriend of mine. And when we broke up, I really wanted us to have a long distance thing, and she really hated that, and it really hurt me, because I was fine with her dating other people. I just wanted to talk about it. Oh, I'm a cuck. Oh, I'm such a cuck. I don't want to watch and jerk off. I wanted to jerk off to it, just like I wanted to think about it. She hated that, and it made me feel so shamed. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It took me a long time before I met a girl who, she goes, I knew she was cheating on her boyfriend all the time. And because, like, this is an internet thing. And I go, I don't care that you're cheating on your boyfriend. She's like, well, I won't tell you about these other guys. I'm like, I kind of want you to tell me about all of it in great detail. And I didn't know what that was. And it took me another 3 years, because me and her, we broke connection for about a year, but we've been talking for like a year. Like, we talk every day. And I think we're gonna fuck one day. Sorry, Megan's boyfriend. If she watches this video, it'd be funny. She can just play that, just that clip. But I didn't know what that was. And I certainly didn't know, I didn't know about being polyamorous during the entire time I was doing the bunny perspective. The reason the quality of the bunny perspective dipped is because it was twofold. Shay Apocalypse was not getting me view revenue. Like, it wasn't increasing my view count at all. It's not that they weren't promoting me, just no one was, Shay Apocalypse was like a non-starter. Like, it's a punchline to jokes now. It's unfortunate because it's a good branding thing. When I joined Shay Apocalypse, I was still bashing Doug Walker, and I was told by Lindsay not to bash Doug Walker. I did not join Shay Apocalypse thinking that Shay Apocalypse was going to be deeply associated with Channel Awesome to the point where when it failed, it folded into Channel Awesome. I thought Lindsay Ellis was making a very clear break from Channel Awesome. I did. When I was informed otherwise, that fucked me up. I didn't really get over it. 3, I was fighting with my brothers a lot. You try to run a failing creative business in your hometown and not have horrible, crippling, can't get any good episodes done work. Like, just, and it ruined me for years. Like, I was not drawing for a year. Like, I was doing doodles, but I was not trying to actively get better at drawing for a year. That was a first. I played a lot of League of Legends. I'm getting back into stuff. I'm working on God Fuck You in a real serious way. I'm going to animate pages of the original God Fuck You. People used to love me reading it, so I'm going to do that on a few streams. On Twitch! Not here. On Twitch. Later tonight. It's only 6. I'm going to take a little dinner break. I'm not actually going to eat. I'm going to brew coffee, get Photoshop open, switch over to Twitch, because we're not doing it on YouTube anymore. Fuck YouTube, because I want to listen to music. I'm going to do God Fuck You. I might do my first run at recording it. I recorded a few times of me reading it, and then take the best takes. And because I got the effects thing, so I can actually do the God effects and everything with I can pick one of these effects for God and stuff. It'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. God Fuck You is this project that I did because I failed in California and I felt really bad about it. And God Fuck You, like, one of the things is my hair has a big curly in it. And that's a Superman reference. Because Superman my character is unstoppable. And I'm so irritated when people go, how do you write for an unstoppable character? And I'm like, One Punch Man, Superman. I can write for that. And I didn't realize it until I was like, God Fuck You is a really good comic. Because it's too like what it is, the science behind God Fuck You. I'm dead. I always refer to the main character of God Fuck You as me. Because it's me. It's what I would do with unlimited power because I've been freed from this mortal vessel and my consciousness has been drafted into another plane. Like, if I only had so many resources to my disposal, I had so many limitations, everything with outside of my limitations, I would, because, like, the concept of is it's an afterlife and I have limitless potential contained within my body. So he can send an infinite number of ninjas at me, and I will kill them an infinite number of times within 20 minutes. If he takes all of my drugs, which he can, because he's omnipotent, I will summon a drug dealer to sell me more drugs, or to get me high again. Or I will summon a different goddess, who is the reason I'm here in the first place, because he doesn't like that I worship the goddess Eris. This is also a precursor to all this other Eris stuff. Because Discordianism is the best religion. So God Fuck You is also sort of like my answer to Chick Tracks. Like, it's my Discordian Chick Track, I guess. Because, like, the idea is indoctrinate them with, like, little symbolism early on, and then you can put it somewhere else and be a bigger thing. But I'll say this. I wanted to write a comic with Lindsay Ellis. I really wanted to write it with her, but when I came up with the idea, we weren't friends. And we're never going to be friends again, so I might as well just say it here. But I wanted to write this comic where being a god is like having Twitter followers. And basically, godlike powers are contained in a little rectangle. I stole the idea for the phone from Panty and Stocking, because their cell phones are so cool looking. So they're just gonna have God cell phones, and I was gonna have the cell phone represent whatever the god is. They have different cell phones, But they basically, it's all cell phone related. And it was going to take place in the 90s. And I wanted it to be kind of Doctor Who in the 90s, but girls. And I wanted to write it with Lindsay Ellis so bad. And I still do. And it's not that Heather couldn't write it with me. That's not it. I wrote the character who's her sidekick specifically for Lindsay. It's not that Heather would be bad. It's just that I would have Heather help me write different parts of that. And I have Heather's going to be helping me with the bunny perspective. To the point where she's going to be annoyed at doing it. So that's why I find it so disappointing that I just have to give up on trying to be contacted with her ever again and friends. If Dan is if Dan doesn't want to engage with me, even on Twitter in a DM, then I clearly did something wrong with whatever video I put out. Somebody clearly got butthurt. And I don't care. If they're going to do this whole solidarity thing, you're either with us or then I'll be without. I will connect with somebody. I hope. And I hope people will look past that I had a rocky start and that I'm looking forward to being productive again. Even after all of this disappointment, which I'm usually really, really bad with, and it's main reason the bunny perspective got bad, disappointment really cripples me. And I don't mean for it to do so. But not recognizing that disappointment hurts me more irrationally than it should means it's something I can look at and work on in the future. And that's what I intend to do. But that said, fuck Kyle Calgren. Fuck him and his blue lighting video. Suck my balls. You fuck. He's not my type, actually. Don't. Shave your beard. Shave it. You look ridiculous. You look like a monster, Kyle. Kyle, shave your beard and comb your hair. You look ridiculous. He doesn't know how to do his own hair. He can't. You know what, man? Sometimes you can't escape the persona of being a smart guy. Only you. Oh my God, Lindsay literally just put out a video. Literally, Lindsay just put a video up. What the fuck? What is wow? That is weird. That's why people are religious. They can't separate coincidence from miracle. I'm like, that's a weird coincidence. Isn't that weird? I wonder if she feels a little tingle on the back of her neck. No. Just an alarm. Oh, should I? Well, I don't have it. I won't. I'll just like it. That's my whole thing. If I watch Lindsay's review, like if I watch Lindsay's video, I'll probably just like it. The last one was just kind of tame and bullshit. This one looks like it's about Michael Bay and then something about queering. So I'm hoping that means it has something to do with Rantasmo, because I know her Rantasmo. They all got together for VidCon, right? So did is that all where they all went? Was that all why everyone was together? Natalie of ContraPoints. It's the only person I'm jealous. Like that's that's what bugs the fuck out of me. Like if I knew what I knew now, then I would just shut my mouth on Twitter. I would just try to put out some good videos and just try to stay on everyone's good side. You know what I mean? I would have neutered myself because I would have had the off chance of getting to work with Natalie. I'm just so irritated. That's what bugs the fuck. That's why I'm so disappointed. Is Nix adores Dan Olson, who admits that he ripped my gimmick off. No, nah, he felt really bad when he found out someone else was doing puppet reviews. And I'm like, that's great. I'm glad I'm not the only one that thought of it. Fuck. But he abandoned it, so... I'm not trying to abandon it either. I'm trying to get back to the puppet stuff, kids. Don't worry. I'm not a... I'd rather do puppet stuff. This is... I just don't think Phil needs to be talking about how Lindsay Ellis can be a drunk dickhead. I like calling women dickheads now because shit. She acts like she does. When Lindsay gets drunk and belligerent, she acts like a shitty dude. She really does. It's really... I don't know, man. I do miss her. It's irritating. I miss all of them. I even miss Tony. Self-righteous fuck. It's ironically, Kyle is way less self-righteous when you talk to him. Tony fucking is. Tony's way up his own ass. Jesus Christ. Whoa. Though, Tony only says nice things about me, but he doesn't talk to me. So I don't know. No one does. I don't know. Zari is the only person, but I know, but Zari would never care. She didn't care, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you know who else talks to me is Vega, Linkara's wife. She talks to me too. But they didn't, those guys just, they're like, yeah, you're philbunny. You did those videos and then you stopped because probably depression, because that's why everyone else stopped. And they're like, yeah, basically. No one has grudges. Most people don't know who the fuck I was for the most part. And like, it's fine. But there's this disappointment that I feel. And it's not a disappointment like, oh, I could be making money. Oh my God, this could be my job. Oh my God, it's honestly, oh my God, I could have interacted with ContraPoints and Jenny Nicholson. And Jenny Nicholson! I put in my time, motherfuckers. I gave out a lot of free art. I gave a lot of cheap art out. I put in my motherfucking time. I'm not trying to be a greedy dick. I got fucking depressed. I had a hard time. And those assholes all abandoned me. They all did. All of them did. They didn't have to fire me like an asshole. They could have just said, take some time, get your shit together. And maybe I would have gotten my shit together. But they fired me. They didn't need to fire me. So you know what? You Shay Apocalypse fuckers. I guess this is my point. Like, it's real easy. And I'm not talking about Lupa. And I'm not talking about a lot of them. But Lindsay didn't learn any nice lessons from the Mashad, okay? They need to fire me. If they thought I had any value to them, they would have put me on some kind of suspension. But they didn't do that. They figured, I'm never going to change. He's never going to get help. He's just going to self-medicate. I have an anxious voice in my head. And I don't know when it started. It started after college when work was just really hard. And I hadn't thought, why don't I just make things and see if people will pick them up? I didn't think that. I was like, you make something and then somebody else makes it a real thing. That's what I always thought. I wrote this whole comic. I sent it to Slave Labor Graphics. I know. I sent it to them. I got a rejection letter and literally sent it to nowhere else. I'm not saying that I deserve special treatment because I thought things were one way and they're another. the voice in my head has, for the past 4 years, been trying to figure out a logical way to explain to Heather that it's okay for me to kill myself, so she'll let me kill myself. That takes it away. And when somebody who has a drinking problem says, get therapy, stop self-medicating, you don't get to tell people to go get therapy just because you are on therapy, Lindsay. I couldn't get on therapy. This isn't Canada. Where the fuck do I go? And what are they going to put me on? Something that just... I'm already... Like, the depression already zapped me. Them firing me really tore me out of it. We had just made Board Cocky before Con Bravo. I think. I can't remember when Con Bravo was. It was July? I'll look it up later. I can't remember. But Board Cocky I worked really hard on, and no one engaged with it. That was like the beginning of me figuring out that effort is just going to hurt my feelings. I have to really psych myself up to make anything anymore. That's new for me. I don't like it. I'm not saying it's Lindsay's fault. She didn't help. But, and I'm not trying to say that Channel Awesome changed the, or excuse me, I'm not trying to say that Change the Channel is like this bullshit movement that had no merit. Because me knowing what a monster Justin is important. It's important to me for me to feel the right way. And certain people wouldn't have come and told me what happened because, I mean, so I'm glad I know that. I really am. It's like the only thing I didn't know that was important for me to find out. I knew Allison was pretty badly treated. I knew about the upside down, or the crucifixion pass. I knew all about that. I knew it was Elise. I knew all about it. I knew all about it. It was a joke. We talked about it on live streams. But you know, it's like I put out some episodes that were really important to me and they didn't really catch on. They didn't really engage the way I thought they were. I've said this before. And Lindsay firing me was like, it was just like, yeah, is vindication that I didn't want to do this anymore. So part of my block on making the bunny perspective is it just won't look the way it used to look. And I'm over that. That's not what the block is anymore. The block now is, what the fuck do you even talk about? Everyone talks about everything all the time. What am I supposed, what do I was on, I have been scouring YouTube lately just to see what's going on. What is being discussed. It sure ain't this shit. I mean, it's long enough, but it isn't a guy like being very frank and honest about his, mental shit for the past several years. It is and it isn't. I mean, like, I don't see this catching on fire. So I've been trying to figure out what that is. The first bunny perspective episode keeps being a loop of, hello, and I don't know what to talk about. 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 Like the first draft of the first episode is just empty space. Phil shows up, not knowing what to talk about. The first legitimate thing I was going to do is he was going to change subjects all the time, and I just was like, I can't. It's too exhausting. I was gonna do this Dan parody. I don't want to talk about Dan anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just, like, Dan Olson hurts my feelings now. So I certainly don't want to reference his fucking show. It's pretty lazy. His setup that everyone is so gaga over, we were doing that shit. He stole that from me too, fucking asshole. We did it. We did it for all the drunken recaps. We did it. We did a bunch of it where it's just like a background with a light on it. Fuck you. We did black, though, which is much better looking. Or a color background. All I'm saying is we did it. We did it. Look at my board, or look at the Runkin' Recaps episodes, and then, you know. You hack. Dan Olson didn't invent a white wall. He didn't. Why do you guys think he's so good? I know, it's because he has ASMR. I think if you thought I was serious, that I actually only thought he was popular because his voice is pleasant for people, I think he'd be very annoyed. I think I could honestly hurt all of their feelings really badly if I just picked the right scab. I don't mean to, but I'm like that person. I just, you know, I want to be utilized for good, but they don't want me. So it's like, what do you do? If the heroes don't want you, but you still feel like, you know, I still want to eradicate the villains. But if the heroes don't, I mean, the heroes that want you don't want you. The heroes that you want to utilize you don't want to utilize you. The fuck? I mean, like, dude, I'm going to go back. I really am. I'm going to go way back in my Twitter feed because I haven't deleted shit. I'm going to go way back in my Twitter feed and I'm going to pick out the worst shit I said and we'll do a whole commentary on it. It's going to take me a while to set that up. I really will. Fuck it. Because I want to know really, what did I do that was so bad? Really? That none of them will talk to me? I didn't kill any of their dogs. I didn't rape any of their mothers. I didn't murder any of their uncles. Right before he said something meaningful like, with great sandwich comes great think outside of the bun. No, with great taco. With great taco comes with great... These potpourri episodes suck. I use that so I could be a hot take. I could use that to get out of the whole episode. Or just keep it in. Keep this part in too. And I think I'm annoyed that Nyx really likes Dan Olson's videos. I'm really annoyed. I have this feeling that May would really dislike me. I think it's why I've been, like, I draw her a lot. And it's a lot to do with I'm trying to be supportive. And I love her videos. And she's going through a weird... She's about to go through, like... I wish I had fraud syndrome. Fuck. She's about to go through my degree is worthless syndrome. Like, that shit, that hit me hard. Ugh. I don't envy people realizing how useless their degree is at all. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Lindsay was the type of person that I always wanted to be my friend. And, you know, I know this is not going to happen. Especially now. And I get the suspicion that she never really liked me, maybe. I don't know. You know what I mean? That's how bad it is. People are just not honest with each other. Like, I'm honest to a fault. I often do reveal details about myself to people very easily. I don't care. I like when people are a little shocked by me, frankly. I don't know if Lindsay saw that as a challenge or posturing or whatever, but I don't know what she saw in me. And then I don't know why what I did was so bad that I had to be so drastic. That's what I keep coming back to, is I don't get why I had to be fired. I don't get it. And it didn't really occur to me until Heather lost a job that I didn't understand why it was like she's way more qualified than they needed her. Like, she's way smarter. When they got new equipment and things, she was going to adapt way faster than anyone else. I couldn't figure it out. It was just like, oh, the guy was worried about his job. He wanted to fire somebody before she took his job. But that's not, that's not the case with those guys, because it's not like I was ever threatening their viewership or whatever. I think they had to fire me because otherwise they couldn't go back to Channel Awesome, because I think they knew maybe Blip that was going to fold. Lindsay was a big part of Blip. Lindsay was real hooked into Blip. She got really betrayed by Maker. Like, Maker Studio really fucked them over. I'm not trying to take any of that away. But she's pretty shitty to me. Like, that's a shitty thing to do to somebody who you just told very flippantly that I should get therapy. Stop self-medicating. This fucking douchebag Mediker, he did this whole, like, side character as a Channel Awesome, and he barely mentions Lindsay. This little fucking punk. I don't understand. I know why Mediker is popular. Mediker is the new Leafy. Are we wrong? Am I wrong? But he's punching down a lot, and I'm pretty irritated by it. Start punching up, asshole. You fucking scumbag. I realized it now. It took me a long time why Mediker's popular. But that fan base is the Leafy fan base. They had to go somewhere, right? You watch. That's what's going to happen with this fucking scumbag. I don't like him. I wouldn't do anything with him. Wouldn't be a part of his organization. Thanks. Douchebag. Same with, like, Armored Skeptic. I hate his whole vibe. I can't stand him. Like, I used to like Armored Skeptic when he was shitting on Christians, but boy, he took a hard left, or hard right rather, and then keeps talking about how he's a liberal, and you're like, you can't. Being a liberal means you respect other people's beliefs, and even if they're a Muslim, you just try to rectify. You try to get the Muslims to behave like civilized. You're like, guys, you realize you can't just cut off people's hands or heads, or like, you can be Muslim, but you got to change this shit around because it's not kosher. Like, we're not going to accept that anymore as part of your religion. That's one thing. But they're doing this whole thing where they're kind of aligning themselves with Christians on some level, and I can't handle that kind of shit. Say what you want about Muslims. They're not as bad as Christians on the big scheme of things. They're bad, though. I mean, all the religions are bad. They're all bad. There's a scale. There's bad Buddhists. That's true. The Dalai Lama is not necessarily the most innocent motherfucker on the planet. I mean, I'm not fronting. Mother Teresa's a cunt. She's a horrible bitch. Fuck Mother Teresa. Fuck that horrible wretch. She watched people suffer to death. Presumably while masturbating. So fuck Mother Teresa. Anyway, I've been watching a lot of videos about, like, watching YouTube people that are just, like, mentally just, like, they just crumble, and I'm like, yeah. Like Maddox has got this whole thing going on, and, like, he's, like, complete joke, and blah, 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 and yada, yada, yada. And now it's just like, what do you talk about? That's my whole point. It comes back around to, like, what do you even make a channel about anymore? I don't know, man. So I'm going to take a break. Oh, I better do an ending to my stupid vlog. This has been another Stone Vlog potpourri. I don't know what I'm going to actually title it. It'll probably be some clickbaity nonsense. I might even hashtag change the channel. I was thinking about calling it change the channel postmortem and other shit. My neighbors are fucking loud cunts. What was I saying? If you wanted to watch this live, you could have. It was at my philbunny live channel on YouTube. The link is in the doobly-da. And directly after I streamed this is on Saturday the 30th. After I did that stream, I was working on God Fuck You on Twitch. The link is also in the description. Please follow me there. If you can subscribe to me there, really appreciate it. Trying to get my Twitch shit going. If you could tell your friends about this show more than anything, that helps. There's no way that I'm going to make money off YouTube, so if you can help me on Patreon, that'd be great. There is a $10 donation where you get a sketch. It's a fairly refined sketch, and it's a monthly charge, so it's not like it's crazy. And you get a monthly drawing. That's a pretty good deal for $10. And I love you for watching. Here are the Patreons. I don't think I mentioned the Patreons last time, but... And the Star Trek review is either out or whatever. Star Trek Season 4 will be recording in the new apartment. We're moving apartments, so things are going to be weird. And last but not least, the stream schedule is going to be this Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to about 9:30, 10 a.m. Central Time. Here's the stream schedule on Twitch, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central. Give or take. If it sucks, I might bail early, but whatever. And then 6 p.m. until question mark. And those games, the early morning stuff might be games, might be art. I will eventually sort out where I play maybe Fortnite. I probably won't play Fortnite much in the morning. I want to try to play Fortnite with friends. And that might be on PlayStation too. PlayStation 4 as well. So. Ugh. All my info's there. Oh, my Fortnite info and my League info is probably in there too. So add me there as well. Steam info's in there. Oh my god, stop talking about info. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye. Okay. So we'll start the art stream on Twitch. You guys both follow me on Twitch, right? Hi, Victor. Ooh, Bob Ross marathon. We're either going to watch Bob Ross or Doctor Who. We might listen to the new Gorillaz. So... get to the art stream. Give me about hour at the most. Might start sooner than an hour. You could always just leave it open and then, or follow me on Twitter because I'll tell you when it's on there. I'll announce it on Twitter or on the Discord. The Discord's there too. Bye.